Kimberly Parrett Pieper is having a bit of a rough time at the minute. Lost her mum, Carol, who sadly passed away last June. Terrible, wasn't it? And she just like to know if there's anything that her mother wants to say to her, or the night she passed, she was right there with her sleeping, and then she heard her slip off the couch. She asked her if she was okay, and then she said, and this is the part you can't really understand. Her voice was sort of not shaky, as if it was usually was told. She just told her she was all right, really, and just going to lay there for a few and get up, and she just said that she just asked if she was sure, and she just said, "Yes, Kimberly, I love you. Go back to sleep." And of course, she just believes that her mum was passing right then, I suppose, really, at the time. Good God. And then they just said she just spoke. She didn't want she didn't want any didn't want anything brought back for she just lost her dad. She didn't want anything didn't want me brought back. Lost it. I don't know what that's about. 90 days before. She did not want brought back. She had, oh good God, and she just lost her dad 90 days before. So, good God. So really, just questions herself a lot, and needs closure. I suppose you would, really, wouldn't you, really, for that? And of course needs to heal, and any advice that she has would be of a blessing. So I think what we'll do is we'll use these mediumship cards here to try and communicate with your mother there, Kimberly. We'll try and give Carol a shout and see if she's got anything for you. So also, I thought we'd make it a bit like a double bill, in the sense of we'll use like two readings there. I've got these mediumship cards, and these here, and these other ones here. These shamanic healing cards. So what we'll do, we'll just place Carol's cards there, as you could call them, just for now, and we'll just see what these energies, healing energies, are there. First of all, ask for the truth on behalf of Kimberly Parrett Pieper concerning this issue, this issue of losing a mother and of course a father not long before, really, and ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we'll just cut those cards there, and then next what we'll do is we'll grab these grabs Carol's cards, as you could call them, and we'll just give them a quick shuffle in the sense of, as we do, we'll ask Carol to join us in our settings. So, Spirit of Carol, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Carol, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Carol, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Carol, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Carol, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Carol, through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Carol and all absent friends. And we just cut the deck there. And as we do, where the deck splits, of course, Kimberly, is where it's at its most strongest point. And of course, it's where Carol has left the message for us. Or for you, really. And of course, as Carol leaves her energy, when we cut the deck, we have to welcome Carol, because Carol has now joined us, haven't you, Carol? So, Carol, we welcome you to our setting. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your energy. First of all, Carol, before you have a word, my duck house, my duck, you know. We're going to just take a look at see what Kimberly's these shamanic healing cards have for Kimberly. So I'll just pop them right next to it there, and we'll just pull out a card here, and of course there, Carol, probably you can appreciate her. I need reading glasses as well, so Kimberly will probably appreciate that. So there you go. Let's just pull out this first card here just to see what this is all about for you there, Kimberly. And this could be Carol speaking as well, couldn't it? Ascension. That's an interesting. It's an interesting card, isn't it? Ascension. I suppose really. It's just really saying that from a healing point of view, of course, it's about rising up as well, isn't it, and so forth, and it sort of like appears as though although for as bad things are or have been, as you could say, nevertheless. You could be forgiven for thinking that things aren't that bad. It seems as though your mum is sort of saying that for as bad as things may appear, they're not that bad. If you get what I mean, in the sense that I've ascended up into. I've raised. I've got because that's what it is, isn't it? You've got ascension, and you've also got the two types of astral projection, haven't you? In the sense, the ascension is where your astral double rises. And floats on when you're asleep. Your astral double rises and you rise above. Sometimes you can look down on your own body and things like that, can't you? And that's the ascension. And then of course you've got the other where you go into another literally another dimension completely. If you get what I mean. And that's really what it seems to be saying, as though the ascension side of it is that your mother's spirit has ascended in the sense of not so much into another, yes, into another dimension, but still in this dimension, on the earth plane, but she's just ascended because there's no body anymore. It's the body that's died, isn't it? And that's really the difference, isn't it? And this is really where that difference occurs. Now I want to pull out another card, because you've got ascension and transcend. Things ascend and transcend, don't they, as well? The transcendence is, of course, sort of into the other dimension, but so he's saying she's ascended and just gone up there from her. Now let's just see what this other energy is, and then we can try and join the two together, if you get what I mean. Now this is an interesting one, isn't it? Self-love. That's an interesting card there, isn't it? Self-love. It's as if your mother or spirit is, of course, the spirit that ascended, is saying, maybe you are the one who should ascend, in the sense, rise above this and love yourself. Like your mother said, you said, didn't you? You said that your mother told you that she loved you, and go back to bed and whatever. And this is what it is. I mean, if you can't love yourself, then, and this seems, I've got a sort of feeling as though this is the problem. Of course, yes, I suppose you've got the guilt. What could I have done? When there's nothing you can do, you know that, but nevertheless you always think, well, it probably might have been. But even if there might have been, there's still nothing you can do about it, really. But you get the guilt sort of thing, don't you, going on, of course. And maybe Mum will have something to say, something about that, won't you, Carol, in a moment, when we take a look at what your message is. I want to just pull out another card, a third card here. And I want to just reveal that to see what that's all about. That's interesting, isn't it? Let's just see. Oh, that looks like the Three of Cups, doesn't it? A bit like in the tarot deck. Of course, it isn't. It's to do with creativity. Although the three of Cups is to do with, in the tarot deck, is the Lord of Abundance, isn't it? So maybe it's got something probably partly to do with that. I suppose that could be the sort of inspiration where it's come from. I don't know, but certainly it's to really saying love yourself and just be more creative, really, and maybe by doing that, the ascension will come. You will rise up from this. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? That interesting way of viewing it, I suppose. I want to know, if you don't mind me, Carol, just let me. Oh, you know, I don't know if there's something going around or if it's just me. Probably just me, isn't it? We're going to have a word with Carol now and just see what message Carol's got. To see what message your mum has for you. So for now, these cards have spoken, haven't they? Really, very interesting though. Like those three the Three of Cups, the Lord of Abundance. Although it isn't tarot, nevertheless it sort of does imply that in the sense of the creativity side of it, where you can bring abundance, emotion, and so forth. Maybe emotional stability in some way, of course, in that regard. I want to know, we'll just gather those cards up, and what we'll do, we'll just place them here, and I'll just put the rest of the deck on top, and then we can just move the deck just over there, and then we can see what Carol has to say for herself. She's been sitting there patiently, haven't you, Carol, waiting to say the first thing. So let's see what the first thing Carol has to say for herself. What have you got to say to Kimberly there? What have you got to say? Let's see. The first card just says, "Now I have no pain." That's it. That's interesting, isn't it? Now I have no pain. So it depends what type of pain, though, doesn't it? Because sometimes you can get emotional pain as well as physical. Unless it was like the heart attack or whatever it was that caused it. I don't know. I mean, one can but surmise on that, but I'm not going to surmise, Carol, if you don't mind. She's just saying now, aren't you, Carol, that now you've got no more pain. I want to pull up the next card now. I suppose I normally do 3 cards with these as well. Not so much a past, present, future, but more like a beginning, middle and end. A bit like those Shaman cards that we were just looking at there. Let's just see. She's just saying here that tears cleanse the soul. So although the cards, the healing cards are saying just have a bit of self-love and so forth, and yes, you can rise above this, and with a bit of creativity you can not so much get over it, just learn to cope with it and move on. Nevertheless, tears do cleanse the soul, and you've got to let it go. And although I've got no more pain, Kimberly, she's sort of like saying, although I've got no more pain now, nevertheless you must release your pain so that you haven't got any as well. That's what I sort of get that she's saying. It's a vile phrase, that, isn't it? Sort of get. But you know what I mean, don't you? I want to just pull out the next card here. I want to just see what else Carol's got to say for herself. Let's just see what you've just got to say. That's an interesting card, Luke. We're on about ascension, weren't we, and things. And she's just saying that there's no time where I am. Time is only on the earth. And I always tend to focus on the rose in the hourglass because there's no need for sand in there. There's the rose of love there, and instead, just to remind you that you know, she's in a timeless dimension, and that means, of course, that you can be here with Kimberly right now as we're doing this reading, can't you? In the sense as you're doing this setting with us there, Carol, you can move forward and back in time from the time when this was recorded on video, as you could say, to at the time when it's being watched. So effectively it's happening now, isn't it? So it's like as if Carol is with you right now as we speak, even though I might be fast asleep, gone to the shops, or wherever I've gone, doing more readings or whatever I'm doing. Nevertheless, Carol is with you right now at this moment. We are here now, aren't we, Carol? And that's special. I somehow know, although I said about 3 cards coming out, I tend to get like this feeling sometimes you want some more to come out. It can vary, and I just sort of feel like 2, the number 2, I don't know why. So we'll pull out 2 more cards and we'll just see what else Carol has to say here. Notice there you've got the, she's just saying there's no such thing as death, Kimberly. I just want you to know that. I want you to know there's no such thing as death. So I've just raised up, I've ascended like those other cards, the Shaman cards were saying. I've ascended and I want you to ascend as well. Rise up above. My soul has ascended. Yes, transcended as well, in the sense of gone to another dimension, but ascended in the sense that I'm there with you. Why I sort of think along those grounds, I don't know. I want to see what this card is here that may or may not, I don't know. It usually is may. It usually works out uncannily, doesn't it, Carol? In the sense that I had to leave that way. It's just that, but you know, when I was on the sofa and I said I love you, I meant that. But it's just I had to leave that way, because maybe in a way it was the best way to leave. Although sudden, nevertheless, at least I told you I loved you. At least I had that opportunity, took that opportunity and told you that I loved you, and go back to bed or whatever. So at least you can remember that, can't you? There are no sort of regrets, or even I haven't got any regrets that I didn't tell you that I loved you, because I did. I mean, I'm telling you now. That's sort of got as though she's saying. Now, although I pulled out the number 2 card, I want to pull out a number 3, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's Carol being naughty in that sort of cheeky sort of sense, and she's just saying, pull another card, go on, I dare you. So I'm going to do it then, Carol. And this other card is here. She's just saying, we will be together again, which I suppose is a sort of, in the sense, okay, I took the opportunity, told you I loved you, but remember there's no such thing as death, so we will be together again, Kimberly. But for now, you just try and heal. Tears cleanse the soul, and if you want to let go, let go. But nevertheless, you must ascend also. You must try and be imaginative, try and be creative, to try and get yourself through this. And of course, of course, you too can learn to love yourself. Because for as much as I loved you, I can say I loved you and I love myself, but I want you to love you as well. That's what she seems to be saying. I want you to love you as well as me saying I loved you. I told you I loved you before I passed. I want you to love you as well. So why don't we both love you together, and then that means there's more than one. Strength lies in numbers. I've got a funny feeling she's saying that. I don't know if that was a saying that she had, or if it's just something that's just come to mind with that. But she's saying it in a comical sort of way, with a smile on her face, as if to sort of not mock or anything, but just laugh at. Laughing at yourself sometimes can actually be a form of healing as well, and you realise how silly you are, how silly of me for not knowing that, or whatever. But she seems to be sort of saying, not pull yourself together or snap out of it or anything like that, but just we'll do it together. You learn to love you learn to love yourself, and I'll love you as well as I do, and we'll both love you. So it's not just you loving yourself, Kimberly. Your mum's there, Carol's there, she's helping you, she's loving you as well. Because she told you anyway. So it isn't as if you don't know, is it? And I want another card. I don't know why. I just want another card. Maybe, don't know, maybe I don't know anything in the maybe sense, other than what the card says, which is I watch over you every day, which I suppose is just basically what what Mum's just said, isn't it? Really, in that regard, I watch over you every day. And that's really it, isn't it, Carol? And I sort of feel as though this is fading now, Carol. And I don't know why, but I feel as though you've sort of said what you can try and say. So what we're going to do, if you don't mind, we're going to just gather Carol's cards together, just gather Mum's cards together there, and we'll just neatly make a little pile, and then we'll turn the pile over there. And just again, Carol, I just want to thank you for your time and thank you for your energy. Thank you for your presence, and thank you for the message that you brought for your daughter there, for Kimberly. That's really going to be appreciated, isn't it, Kimberly? And what we're going to do is just get the rest of the deck. And just before we place the rest of the deck on top there, Carol, I just want to say, merry did we meet, merry do we part, and merry may we meet again. And as we place the cards over Carol's cards, as you could say, the rest of the deck, we just say, blessed be to Carol and all absent friends. And as we close the setting, now I want just to close your eyes and visualise a door wide open with a light shining through it. And as you do, just imagine that door closing slowly, and as it closes, just see that the light goes out nice and slowly there. And as the light goes out, it closes, and then there's no light at all, and then we can open our eyes and return back to the darkness, maybe, no doubt, of this cruel, harsh world that we must draw our breath in pain to tell the story. But for now, once again we say, blessed be to Carol and all absent friends, for these cards have spoken.